Have you ever wondered why some people seem to have everything? Money, fame, beautiful houses, luxury cars, and yet still feel empty and restless inside? And why there are others who have so little, yet always smile, live peacefully, and radiate a strange sense of happiness? I spent many years in the race for more money, more opportunities, more recognition. And I used to believe that when I had enough of everything, I would finally be happy. But one morning, I woke up, looked around my comfortable home, and realized something terrifying. I had everything except peace. Perhaps you feel the same way, always looking ahead, working harder, striving for more, yet still sensing that something is missing. But what if I told you that everything you need to be happy and successful you already have right now? No, I'm not talking about luck. I'm talking about awareness. Imagine this. A farmer owns a piece of land. He leaves it behind to search for gold far away, not knowing that right beneath his feet lies a field of diamonds waiting to be discovered. We are often just like that farmer. We abandon our own lives in pursuit of another one when, in truth, everything we have is the foundation for everything we want. Over the past 40 years, I've worked with thousands of people, from high-powered entrepreneurs to retirees searching for purpose again. And there's one thing I've learned: those who focus on what they already have always go the farthest. Not because they have more, but because they see more. In the next few minutes, I want to share with you 13 powerful lessons I've learned in 60 years of life lessons on how to focus on what you have to get what you want. And if you've been feeling tired, pressured, or simply wondering, am I enough? Stay with me until the end, because maybe, just maybe today, you'll realize something life-changing. You have always been enough, and that's where the real journey begins. There's something fascinating about life that I didn't truly understand until I turned 60. We are never really lacking anything. We just forget what we already have. I've met people from all walks of life: young dreamers searching for purpose, middle-aged adults burdened by responsibility, and elders trying to rediscover their meaning. And it seems that almost everyone is running to achieve more money, more success, more recognition. Yet the faster they run, the emptier they feel inside. I still remember a man I met after a seminar in California. He was around 55, successful. He had a company, a car, a home, a name that people respected. But when we sat down together, he looked at me, sighed, and said quietly, "I have everything, but I no longer feel alive." That sentence haunted me for years, because it reminded me that when we only look at what we don't have, we'll always feel incomplete. But when we truly see what we do have, we begin to feel enough. And from that sense of enoughness, we can grow, bloom, and shine. And that's exactly what I want to share with you today. 13 life lessons that changed the way I see the world, the way I live, and the way I help others find themselves again. 1. Gratitude, the doorway to true abundance. I used to think gratitude was just a polite habit, something nice to say. But after walking through loss, illness, and loneliness, I discovered that gratitude isn't just an emotion. It's a healing force. When you start each morning by recalling 3 things you're grateful for, the world seems to shift colors. Not because everything becomes perfect, but because your mind enters a state of abundance. And when the mind is full, it begins to attract even more good things. A grateful person is never poor because they see wealth everywhere. 2. Time, the most precious asset we waste. When we're young, we trade time for money. As we grow older, we'd gladly trade money to buy back time, but we can't. Time can't be borrowed, stored, or returned, so spend it on what truly matters: the people you love, the things that warm your heart, and the experiences that expand your soul. Stop spending your time proving your worth to others. True worth doesn't need proof, it simply needs to be lived. 3. The power of simplicity. There was a time I had too much, and the more I owned, the heavier I felt. Only when I began to let go did I finally feel light. Life becomes clearer when you remove the unnecessary and keep only the essential. Simplicity doesn't mean poverty, it means clarity. When you simplify, you begin to see what truly matters and what's just noise. The more we mature, the more we understand that peace comes from less, not more. 4. Comparison, the thief of joy. I used to compare myself with everyone: the colleague who succeeded faster, the neighbor who seemed happier. And slowly I realized that comparison blinds us to our own worth. Each of us walks a unique path with our own rhythm. If you keep looking sideways, you'll miss the beauty of your own road. Joy doesn't come from being better than others. It comes from being better than you were yesterday. 5. Service, The path to happiness. When I was young, I thought happiness came from being recognized, but years of community work taught me otherwise. True happiness lies in giving. When you use your gifts to serve others, your life itself becomes a gift. And here's the paradox: when you help others grow, you grow too. Real success isn't about what you have, but about how your existence makes the world a little better. 6. Enough. 3 words that can save the soul. Learning to say, "That's enough," was a turning point in my life. Enough of trying to prove myself. Enough of pleasing everyone. Enough of running without resting. Enough doesn't mean giving up. It means pausing to breathe, to live consciously, to ensure you're still walking your true path, not just chasing an endless race. 7. Recognize the gift within you. Each of us carries a special gift. Maybe it's the ability to listen, to connect, or simply to love deeply. But for most of our lives, we're taught to imitate instead of discover. Ask yourself, does this make me feel alive? If the answer is yes, that's your gift. And when you live in alignment with that gift, you don't need to try to shine. The light shines through you naturally. 8. True confidence comes from within. I've met many talented people who still doubt themselves because they wait for validation from others. But real confidence doesn't come from praise. It comes from understanding. When you know who you are, you no longer need reminders of your worth. You become steady grounded like a mountain in the storm. Confident people don't need to shout. They simply are. 9. Contentment. Moving forward in peace. Many people mistake contentment for complacency, but true contentment is the foundation for lasting growth. When you're grateful for the present, you gain the energy to move forward, not from lack, but from peace. Complacency keeps you still. Contentment helps you walk on calmly, steadily. Presence. Living in each moment. The young often live in the future, the old in the past. But life only happens here and now. When you eat, taste your food. When you listen, really listen. When you talk to someone, look into their eyes, not at your phone. Presence is the greatest gift you can give to yourself and to others. 11. The power of a changing mind. I once believed that people never change, but after 40 years of coaching thousands, I've seen miracles. When a person starts believing they can learn and grow, they break limits they once thought were fate. Positive thinking isn't pretending to be happy. It's choosing to see opportunity in challenge. Your mind is a garden. What you plant, you harvest. 12. Less but deeper. Society teaches us that more is always better, but sometimes more makes life shallow. Fewer friends, but truer ones. Fewer tasks, but more meaningful ones. Fewer words, but each carrying weight. When you choose less, you don't lose, you refine. 13. True wealth comes from within. And finally, remember this: no one is rich because of how much they own, only because of how deeply they appreciate. You may have houses, cars, and bank accounts, yet if your soul is empty, you're still poor. But if you wake up each morning feeling peace inside, then you already live in abundance. Happiness is not a destination. It's the way you walk with gratitude, awareness, and faith that you are already enough. You see, life doesn't demand that you have more. It simply invites you to recognize what you already have and live fully with it. Because when you truly focus on what you have, you don't just achieve what you want. You become the best version of yourself. If you remember only one thing from this conversation, let it be this: you are enough. And from that enoughness, everything good will begin to grow. Starting today, just focus on what you have. Would you like me to polish this English version for voiceover rhythm and pacing, adding pauses, soft tone, reflective markers for natural delivery in a YouTube narration? You know, after all the years of wandering, striving, failing, and even those moments when it felt impossible to stand up again, I realized something remarkably simple. Life has never asked us to be perfect. It only asks us to live sincerely. We may stumble, we may make mistakes, we may get hurt, but as long as your heart still feels moved by what's good, as long as you still want to love, to learn to live better than yesterday, then you are still on the right path. I believe that in every person there is a flame, sometimes small, sometimes just a flicker, but it never truly goes out unless you let yourself give up. And the wonderful thing is just a little light, even a tiny bit, is enough to brighten a dark room. Likewise, a single positive thought, a wise choice, or a moment of gratitude can change the course of your entire life. There's one thing I want you to remember. Everything you've been seeking outside yourself has always existed within you. Strength, peace, love, meaning. They never left you, just forgot how to listen to them. If today you feel tired, if you feel you're not good enough, not successful enough, allow yourself a pause. Take a deep breath. And remember, you are alive, and that alone is a miracle. You don't need to become someone else. You just need to return to yourself with all your kindness, simplicity, and courage. The world doesn't need more copies. It needs you whole, authentic, and compassionate. Life is fragile. No one knows what tomorrow will bring. So live in a way that when tomorrow comes, you can smile and say, I loved, I tried, and I lived fully. Don't let your life be just a list of things to do. Let it be a journey of feeling. Feeling the sunrise each morning, the warmth of a meal, a hug, a thank you, or an I love you. Because it's these small moments that are the true bricks of happiness. If you've made it this far today, I believe there's a part of you that wants to change, to live deeper, to understand yourself more clearly. And I want to say thank you. Thank you for staying, for listening with your heart. The Mind Power Skills channel was created with a simple purpose to help each of us expand our minds, master our emotions, and discover the power within. Every video here is not just a lesson, but a small piece helping complete the bigger picture of your soul. If what I shared today touched you even a little, leave a sign, maybe a comment or a share, because sometimes one video you share can become a light for someone else on their darkest day. And if you want to go further with me on this journey of mental mastery, hit subscribe to Mind Power Skills, because I will return every week with stories, experiences, and deeper lessons. Together, we will learn to understand the mind, heal our emotions, and truly live freely. Before we end, I want you to close your eyes for a few seconds. Just breathe slowly and silently say to yourself 3 words, I am enough. It sounds simple, but if you truly believe it, you'll feel a magical energy rising from within. This is the power of the mind power you've always carried. Use it to love, to heal, to grow, and to live in alignment with the gift called life. Thank you for listening, for feeling, and for walking this journey with me. Remember, you are never alone. Somewhere out there, there are souls like yours learning to live better each day. And I, along with Mind Power Skills, will always be here walking with you on the path to becoming the best version of yourself. Mind Power Skills. Awaken the power within you. Subscribe, like, share if you felt the value today.